I want you to change the world, and don't think that this is going to happen peacefully or you can do it alone. We need to kill the rich, okay? We need to get out there, use your weapons, and rip Washington apart.
Good morning, everyone. It is April 21st, 2018. I'm Eric. I'm here at Zero Hedge. The title of the article is Government is Replacing Religion According to Researchers. And of course, this is called statism. This is coming from the Daily Bell. Religion is the sigh of the oppressed creature, the heart of a heartless world, and the soul of a soulless conditions. It is the opium of the people. Karl Marx. A group of researchers agree. They think that they have proven that if you have a government, you do not need religion. They concluded that religion wants as people get more help from government programs. They think that people replace spiritual help from God with tangible help from government. Help, help, help. Help me. And that's the problem, is people think they need help. Researchers call it an exchange model of religion. If people can't get what they need from the government, or I said can't, if people can get what they need from government, be it healthcare, education, or welfare, they're less likely to turn to a divine power for help, according to the theory. But are people actually more likely to drop religion in places where governments provide more services and stability? In a new paper, psychology researchers crunched the numbers and found that better government services were in fact linked to lower levels of strong religious beliefs. Those findings held true in states across the U.S. and in countries around the world, researchers said. The article, Religion as an Exchange System, the interchangeability of God and government in a provider role, was published April 12th in Personality and Social Psychology Bulletin. What they are really highlighting is how the government undermines traditional community institutions. The church has been one of the most important neighborhood safety nets for centuries, possibly millennia, but these warm personal institutions are being replaced by cold government programs. People are treated like numbers, not neighbors. People are provided help not from the charity of others, but from the forced redistribution of wealth. This tears apart the foundation of why churches have always worked so well as a safety net. And it really doesn't have much to do with religion. It has much more to do with community and strong neighborhood social ties. And of course, we watched, well, how can I put this? Those neighborhood ties kind of went away with the invention of the radio, and even more so with the invention of television. I mean, before the TV, people got out, they talked to their neighbors, they had barbecues, and they still do these things, but not to the same degree. Now if you go down the street of any given neighborhood, instead of seeing people outside socializing, you see that glow of the TV. Yuval Noah Harari argues in his book *Sapiens* that after industrialization, government and industry teamed up to get people hooked on markets and government instead of family and community. They knew that they had to replace more than the physical things that people depended on. Markets and states do so by fostering imagined communities that contain millions of strangers and which are tailored to national and commercial needs. An imagined community is a community of people who don't really know each other, but imagine that they do. Such communities are not a novel invention. Kingdoms, empires, and churches functioned for millennia as imagined communities. But the two most important examples for the rise of such imagined communities are the nation and the consumer tribe. The nation is the imagined community of the state. The consumer tribe is the imagined community of the market. Both are imagined communities because it is impossible for all customers in a market or for all members of a nation really to know one another the way villagers knew one another in the past. Consumerism and nationalism work extra hours to make us imagine that millions of strangers belong to the same community as ourselves, that we all have a common past, common interest, and a common future. People abandon the God that provides them with community for a God that provides them with free shit. The government is much easier to satisfy. You don't have to be polite and grateful to your neighbors when they help you. The government obscures where the help really comes from and leaves people with a sense of entitlement. And the community has no control over who receives its help. In a community, you can tell who needs help and who might be gaming the system. I'll give you a great example. At any given day of the week, you can drive to the welfare office, and in the parking lot of the welfare office, you'll see Lexus, Cadillacs, Escalades, Navigators. You'll see really nice fucking rides. How is it these people have these really nice fucking rides but can't afford to feed themselves or pay their own rent or their utility bills? So that's a good example. You can isolate the type of support that neighbors need most. Instead of handing out government dollars to buy fruit roll-ups and Captain Crunch, a family might offer to cook dinner for another family or take their kids in for certain meals or extended stays. There are actually regulatory mechanisms at work in communities and small-scale warm institutions like churches. For instance, Sapiens also point to gossip as an important social regulator. It is a way of making sure people in your social group know who they are truly dealing with. But the researchers really seem to miss the aspects of community that religion provides and focuses only on the supernatural part of the equation. If a secular entity provides what people need, they will be less likely to seek help from God or other supernatural entities. Government is the most likely secular provider, the researchers concluded. We showed in two cross-sectional analyses, one using world countries and one using states in the United States, that better government services were related to lower levels of being religious. If the benefits acquired in the religious exchange can be acquired elsewhere, religion becomes less useful, researchers wrote. I didn't really see religion as being useful in the first place. If anything, in my opinion, it really has been a hindrance to the progress of humans. They added that when it comes to the role religion plays in establishing predictability and control in society, the power and order emanating from God can be outsourced to the government. Again, it is not God giving order or predictability, but the close-knit community. Sure, there may be basing their system on God's law, basing their system on God's law, but the government is undermining community. They are destroying the long-tested method of providing a social safety net, help for the poor, assistance for the elderly, emotional support, child support, friends, and something to be part of. And researchers hint that this is a good thing, but that cannot be further from the truth. You don't have to be a religious person to see the problem with government replacing religion and, by extension, community. A major source of social problems is emotional isolation. So, even if the government is better at providing services that religion once provided, their services are cold and impersonal. Yes, people need food and health care, but those are actually pretty easy to come by in free societies based on production and abundance. The truly hard thing to come by is a sense of belonging. For some people, religion provides this inclusive community. A government can replace the superficial qualities, but it is no substitute for the deeper connections that religion provides. You don't have to play by the rules of the corrupt politicians, manipulative media, and brainwashed peers. When you subscribe to the Daily Bell, you also get a free guide. How'd that turn into a fucking commercial for the Daily Bell? Anyway, I thought I'd share this with you because government has replaced religion, and it's not necessarily a good thing. When people begin to depend on the state at this level, it's like feeding wild animals. They get more and more dependent, and before you know it, they cannot survive without that help. That's the evil of, one of the evils anyway, of welfare, of food stamps. you keep feeding these people and feeding these people and feeding these people, and a generation after they have their child almost certainly becomes dependent upon the state to provide their needs, which means that very state has to force at gunpoint the productive to pay for the groceries, rent, and electricity for those who are not productive. Speaking of productive, I gotta go. I have to do a brake job and a computer job today. So this will probably be my only one. Hope everyone has a good day. Remember, kill the state before it kills you.